Hey y'all, welcome to Adventures with Aggie. Today we have with us Husnah Kukundakwe. She's from Uganda and she's their only active Paralympic swimmer. And she's going to tell us about what it's like being raised in Uganda as a adaptive athlete and how much she's looking forward to the Tokyo Paralympics in just a few months. So please welcome Husnah. Husnah, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. It's a weekend here in Uganda, so I have some free time.
Awesome. I'm glad to be a few minutes of your free time today. But just to kind of get started, can you give me some background on who you are and what you do?
My name is Husnah Kukundawke. I'm 14 years old and I represent Uganda in paraswimming. I'm also a student at Aga High School in Form 2. Yeah, Form 1. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Full-time student, full-time swimmer. I love this. There's a balance.
Yeah.
Cool. Backtracking a little bit, why swimming? How did swimming become your sport?
Um, First I started swimming when I was 3 years old, but like as fun and just to have fun and play around. And I tried competitive swimming at the age of 7 at a school competition. And I didn't, it didn't go as planned because I participated in one race and maybe I won or maybe I lost, but I felt like I won because I got to swim with other people. And when it came to my second race, I didn't get to swim in it because I was discriminated in some way. I was switched for another person who was thought to be faster than me, and I felt like a huge level of discrimination. So I left and I stopped swimming for a while, and then I came back after trying different sports like volleyball or football or even netball. So after that, I tried to take on football for a while, and I saw while I was playing midfield or while I was playing in strike, they wouldn't pass to me the ball. My friends wouldn't pass to me the ball. So I chose the more boring position that was being the goalie. And I just went there so that in case someone tried to score, I would at least get a chance to touch the ball. And while I was there, I realized I was really good at being goalie. And that kind of raised my confidence because I'm good at something and I liked being goalie. I liked doing it as soon as I found out how fun it was. And then I realized I was getting more confident in what I liked. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to apply this confidence to what I've always wanted to do in my whole life, and that was swimming. So I asked my dad to take me for swimming. I started swimming the weekends, during the weekends, and then later I started doing serious swimming while I was preparing for classification I'm supposed to go for while in 2018. I was 10 years old then. So I was still really young. And while I was there, I got classified. And as soon as I got my classes, that was when I realized that, you know what, I've started this kind of swimming. I want to see how far I can take it. And hopefully I succeed and participate in Paralympic Games or even possibly maybe even Olympics or just reaching that higher level and seeing how I could succeed.
Well, I'm rooting for you. I can't wait to see it play out. That's such a
Thank
cool
you.
story, though. I think, like, kind of like trial and error, like, let's try this, see how it goes. Let's try this, see how it goes. That's how I
Yeah.
was when I was little, too. And I was just talking to my mom before talking to you, like, right now. I was like, I did that one summer of swim team, and that just wasn't my thing. But I tried it because I was like, I haven't done this before. Let's try it out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. After speaking to you, I might go jump in the pool and see if I can still do a few laps or not.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you. I need that. I need that. um, awesome. I guess kind of just a question about swimming. What makes swimming different than other sports, whether it's competition wise or how it makes you feel personally? How is this
Um,
different to you?
Swimming is an individual sport, and I tried team sports, but I felt like I wasn't getting the attention I wanted to have. So I decided to do an individual sport that shows me for who I am. And yeah, I love team sports. There's a lot of teamwork and a kind of organization helps. But I felt like I would be more of an individual sport person. And swimming also helps with fitness and so many other things like mental fitness as well. Because when you're preparing for a competition, like let's say in the waiting room before you go up to the blocks, there's this kind of fear you have that am I going to do the right turn? I must remember how the dolphin kicks work, or that kind of fear where you start panicking. Do I have the right technique? Do I have the right stroke rate? Do I have all that? So being back there in the waiting room kind of helps that you have to remember to relax and do your best. Because there's one time I was at this competition in London, in actually the championships in London 2019, the World Paraswimming Alliance Championships. While I was back there in the waiting room, I saw top swimmers, people even twice my age, and my legs started shaking, and I was like, oh my God, how am I going to rest these guys? How am I even going to stand in the same line as one of the people I look up to in paraswimming? And I just I just calmed down. I told myself, you know what? The best thing you can do right now is just dive into the pool. Don't worry about the people around you. Just listen to your heart and do your best, because that's what you came here for. And you still have a long journey ahead of you, since I feel like I'm still kind of young, but I also feel like I'm old, and I want to take this really, really as far as I can. But while I was there, best thing you can do is think about how best you can do it.
Definitely. I like that
Yeah.
though. I like that you know you're young but you think you're old. I think that adds a little bit of more pressure on yourself in a good way. I love
Yeah.
it. That's so cool. Awesome. Well, let's like shift a little bit into your training. You're talking about making sure your turns are right and things like that. I guess how's it going? I know you're in school and things. How's your training going right now?
Right now I have about 7 sessions a week, mostly during the morning. In the morning, because I have swimming. I have training early in the morning from around 5, let's say 5:30 to around 7:30, so that I go to school. And then in the evening I deal with my homework and things like that. Then on some days I have training in the morning and evening, or I even have gym. So it's basically 7 sessions a week and 2 gym sessions. And right now, at this particular moment, while I'm preparing for the Paralympic Games, I'm working on my endurance and how I could improve my strength. And right now, I'm mainly focusing on my breaststroke and freestyle, because I feel like I have more of a feature in those two strokes. And recently, I made the minimum qualification time for the 100 breaststroke. That I feel like I've when you go to the Olympic Games or Paralympic Games, yeah, you can go there on a wild card and participate. Participating is all that you need, but I felt more satisfied when I got there after I qualified, which is the best thing anyone could hope for, any athlete who is looking up to the Paralympic Games or Olympic Games. So I'm really happy.
That's awesome. Well, congrats. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Awesome. I also read somewhere that you're training with Olympians. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, not exactly, because I have a teammate who's also going to be at the Olympic Games, not the Paralympic Games. So
Okay.
I also wish him the best of luck, because we're both training together. And in
Cool.
Uganda, I train with able-bodied swimmers, since we don't have so many para swimmers around who want to maybe come out and try swimming. But I wish him the best of luck, and I hope we both succeed in where we're going.
That's awesome. I like how you said it's an individual sport, right? But the team
Yeah,
aspect is kind of there, I guess, with the people you're training with.
yeah.
And these people are in this journey with you, which is so fun. But awesome. Let's see. Let's go with a couple more questions about you and how swimming has affected your life, and then we'll go to representing your country, which is really exciting. But I guess first, what have you learned about yourself from swimming or through swimming?
I've learned that I'm really resilient because after that time I was discriminated. I broke down for a while. I stopped swimming, and then I realized what I love swimming, and I want to take it, and I want to succeed in it. So I've learned that I'm really resilient. Also, some of the times when I would compete with everybody swimmers and swimming in heats, and most of the time I'm not fast enough to be the top three with the top three times at competitions. And I could win my heat, I could be the first in my heat, but I wouldn't get a medal. So that used to put me down until my mom reminded me that at these competitions, you're not exactly competing to win or to get a medal. It's mostly to improve your times and be ready for when you compete with fellow paraswimmers. And that kind of resilience that my mom taught me to have, and I also taught myself to have, has really helped me even with my social life, like making friends. Because there's some people who don't want to talk to the disabled girl, or who don't just they just ignore me. And I still, even after that, I have a couple of friends who love me for the way I am, and they also support me in everything that I do.
That's awesome. Your cheerleaders. They're your cheerleaders, right?
Yeah,
They're here to support you. Awesome.
yeah.
So fun. It's cool too. The word resilience, I think, is really fitting for you and your story. I don't know what I was expecting your answer to be for that question, but it's perfect.
Yeah,
Awesome.
thank you.
Yeah. Let's see. Next question for you. Kind of a similar question, but I guess how have you grown, whether it's physically or mentally or whatever that is? I know you're growing your resilience and things, but how have you grown in your years swimming? You started when you were 3. You've come quite a few years since then, I think.
I feel like I've grown a lot physically and mentally because
Hmm.
I used not to manage to do certain things in swimming. Like maybe I wouldn't be able to tap the wall well, or even do a proper turn without, or even do certain things like putting on a racer. I learned to do that recently without the help of my mom. Not all the time, but most of the time my mom helps me out. And even mentally, because if I wasn't swimming right now, I would probably be the most shy person ever. And I would probably tell my parents, you know what, I don't want to go to a school for able-bodied people. Find me a school where I could fit in and be myself. But with the help of sport in general, I go to a school for normal people. I love myself for the way I am, and I feel like I've grown a lot mentally. Even I may act like I'm 14 years old, but I may act like someone who's older.
I can tell. I can tell.
Yeah,
That's awesome. I want to touch on one more thing that you've mentioned your mom quite a few times. I
yeah.
had the pleasure of meeting her briefly just before this, but can you just describe the role of your mom and how she's kind of helped you on this journey so far?
Um, Before she was like my like if there's a cheer squad, she'd probably be the head cheerleader, and she has really supported me through everything, even going to events for qualification that could help me qualify, or even events to get a chance to compete with fellow paraswimmers, or even possible swim camp. So she's kind of okay, actually she's not kind of, she's is my manager, and she's also the head of the finance area, head of the everything area. So she's kind of the whole staff itself. And I really like that she's also really resilient. She never gives up, because at sometimes we don't have enough funds to take me to competitions. Like when I was going for the Singapore World Series, we had to struggle to look for the funds. Even recently, while I was going for a World Series in Manchester, she had to look for those funds. And I love how she succeeded, because last time in while we were going for Singapore, we didn't go with a coach, and that kind of impacted on my performance because I didn't have like a coach. And while there, I was kind of naughty and being stubborn with her, and sometimes I wouldn't listen to what she says. So, and the time difference between Uganda and Singapore is tough. So this time she had to make sure I went with a coach because this was the only event I was going to have that could help me with my classification. No, that could help me qualify for the Paralympic Games because during training, I felt I was hitting those times. So maybe if a coach were there, maybe I could even do better than the times I was hitting during training. So I I really appreciate her for that.
Yeah. Team manager, team mom. I love that. Cheerleader, all of
Yeah.
the above. Cool. Let's kind of go into representation and things, but just first, I want to ask, what does it mean to you, and how cool is it to represent your country at these different competitions you're going to?
First, it's nerve-wracking since I'm the only active person at the moment, and it gets kind of lonely sometimes. But it's very, very, how can I say? I feel like I'm carrying something huge on my back, and I don't want to disappoint anyone, my mom or my coach, or even the whole country itself in particular. So it encourages me to do my best in whatever I'm going for because I hope that one day people will be inspired by me. Ugandan swimmers will be inspired by me, and especially the paraswimmers, and they come out of hiding. People with disabilities who would love to try swimming in Uganda, and maybe there could be a team, maybe even more. Maybe in the future we could participate in relays in the Paralympic Games or anything we can do as a team, even though swimming is mostly an individual sport. But I'd love to see more people with disabilities in Uganda come out of hiding and do sports like swimming.
Definitely. Me too. Me too. I understand the pressure, but I do think it's really cool that that you can kind of be that first person to kind of break through, and maybe other people will be like, "Hey, I can do that too," or "I want to try that out."
Yeah.
But awesome. That's a perfect. You read my mind into our next question here. How do you see that kind of growing for young boys and girls who may have disabilities and stuff? I feel like it's kind of your mission, right, to help other people realize that this could be fun for them to do. But yeah, how do you see paraswimming in Uganda growing?
Um, Besides the swimming part, I would also want to inspire people with disabilities in general to come out of hiding and to try sports in general, whether it's swimming or even running, athletics, or if it's volleyball, anything they'd love to do. And I feel like in Uganda or any other African countries out there, most of the people with disabilities hide, and I want them to come out of hiding and start loving themselves for the way they are. And I really think me being out there exposing myself could be a great example to those people, or even people who are able-bodied. They could also be inspired by what I do because right now at the moment I'm the first ever Ugandan swimmer to ever qualify for any Paralympic or Olympic Games. And I feel like that inspires someone to just follow their dreams, and there is no limit to anything you can do, and you should just believe in yourself because if you don't believe in yourself, then how could others believe in you, you know? And yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. That's so true. I hope that they hear your story and they come out and they're like, Husna, I want to swim with you, or I want to do
Yeah,
something.
I'd love to swim with them.
Awesome. Hopefully somebody listens to this and is inspired, whether it's going to swim with you or someone like me who hasn't been in a pool and who knows how long now is going to go try it out.
Yeah.
But awesome. Let's see. Just a few more for you. We'll wrap up. But I guess what's next? What are you working on? Obviously, Paralympics are kind of on the horizon here, but what's next for you?
Yeah.
What are you focused on?
At the moment, I'm mainly focused on the Paralympic Games, and I can't wait to be there. And I've heard so much about Paralympic Games. You meet different athletes around the world, and you see people compete, and even training in a 50-meter pool is also very exciting to go to because in Uganda we don't exactly have 50-meter pools to train in. So I usually train in 25-meter pools
Okay.
or even 25-yard pools. So they're not very common, and I can't wait to get back to swimming in a 50-meter pool. Since before the Paralympic Games, we get time to go to Tokyo and train, get a feel of the pool. And I'd love to train in a 50-meter pool. And I'd love to meet so many athletes around the world.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's the entire world meeting, right? For these games.
Yeah,
It's so cool to think
yeah.
about. I wish I was a part of it, but I'll be cheering for you. Adventures with Aggie is cheering for you, rooting for you. Can't wait to see what
Thank you.
happens. Awesome. Last question for you. I end all of my shows on advice. So, what is one piece of advice you would tell younger Husna?
I would tell her to believe in herself because I wouldn't be anywhere I am right now if I didn't believe in myself. I would still be the shy girl who walks around with wearing a sweater most of the time, trying to hide my hand so that people can't see it. And when I started to believe in myself, I accidentally lost my sweater, but I feel like that was an advantage to me because I feel like the sweater was trying to hide some part of me that I was also trying to hide myself. So I would tell her to believe in herself and just wait for what comes up.
Definitely. Definitely. I think she'd love that. I think she'd listen too.
Yeah.
Cool.
Although younger Husna was quite stubborn, so
That's okay. It happens. It happens. Cool. Last question for you. How can people who are listening support you or support paraswimming in Uganda, or how can they get involved?
um I don't exactly know the details of much about the support system because that's usually done by my mom, and all I do is the training part and like preparing for the everything. But from what I've heard from her, I really need support in terms of funds. And in Uganda, mm, people really, a lot of people need support in terms of funds because swimming is a very, very expensive sport
Yeah.
and it requires certain equipment that are not cheap. And also, a racer itself to compete in international competitions is
Yeah.
really expensive. So it's mostly about funds, even getting a chance to train with fellow paraswimmers or even if anyone around the world or any other para swimming swim clubs around the world I would love to be invited to train along with them
Yeah.
soon after after the Paralympic Games. And I can't wait to hear from you guys, your invitations.
Definitely. Me too. Me too. Cool. Well, I'll definitely be cheering for you. Can't wait to see all the things you do in the next few months and years well beyond the Paralympics. But Husna, thank you so much for taking some time to chat with me and share your story today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Husna, thank you so very much for coming on and sharing your story. Be sure to go follow Husna on Instagram to stay updated with what she's got going on and follow her on her road to Tokyo. Join us next time for a special episode with Great Britain's Ali Jawad, who's a Paralympic powerlifter.